Hello, I am in a very special maple tree, I think. I'm sitting in the tree. It's gorgeous. But anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about indigenous permaculture, indigenous sustainability, indigeneity, you know, those kinds of things, and what it means to walk in alignment with and solidarity with our indigenous peoples. And I think that's a really, pardon me, crucial part of being a permaculture practitioner and integrating justice into your practice. And the way that it happened for me, or the way that I'm working on it rather, is through this project that is now being called the Native Gathering Garden. And it is a 1 acre piece of land on a landfill that is now being redeveloped community-based style. And what's super exciting is that very recently we did a job search for a native gathering garden coordinator that's going to be funded by our city parks bureau. And this is perhaps, like, the garden is really cool. It's a native food forest. So don't get me wrong, I've worked on this for 7 years on and off. So I'm very excited. But what's more radical is that the city government is willing to fund a position that is needed to kind of keep the community engagement alive, because that's what we were struggling with as a primarily volunteer run organization, or just group of people, really trying to ensure that the collaboration with various tribes, various indigenous community members and leaders, can get fairly political fairly quickly. And so it was a lot of work, a lot of emotional and free labor, working with city government, working with landscape architects, explaining how and why the design needed to be a particular way, explaining while keeping the traditional ecological knowledge, keeping that kind of reserved for those who are indigenous, like how we had to spend a lot of time trying to explain why we wanted certain features to be a particular way, or why we needed more community engagement and discussion and updates and funding and all this social infrastructure that would support the thriving of this native food forest. And so anyway, the call for the job has been open, and we're probably closing applications soon, and would have found someone to do this work. And so I'm really excited, because it's been a long time coming, and I've not even worked on this project for its entire life. And before that, the through the Native American Community Advisory Council, NACAC, which was initially just an informal group advising our Parks Bureau, City Parks Bureau, but now it's expanded to include our regional tri-county government, metro, as well as other agencies or other initiatives that increase access for indigenous people in the in urban areas, in the urban metro of Portland, to access their traditional lifeways. So powerful stuff that I'm blessed and honored to participate in as a non-indigenous person. I'm from India, so I crack the joke often that I'm the other kind of Indian, but these kinds of public food forests and kind of social permaculture interventions for, like, finding legitimacy for indigenous land management techniques to be integrated into public land management. I think these are absolutely essential, and there's a lot going on in Portland that I'm really proud to be a part of. And I think that we cannot talk about any kind of regenerative culture, any kind of land-based reformation or reclamation or remembering, if we do not include and honor the indigenous peoples on whose land we are. And even beyond that, I I hope we ask for permission to walk on this land that we borrow from them or we are guests on. I hope we start to do that more often and to walk in more integrity and alignment with Indigenous sovereignty and allyship. Thanks.